Welcome back, Porch family. Today, we're talking about something everybody feels, but don't always know how to say. Respect. Not the social media kind, but the kind we were raised on. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Greetings when you walk into a room. Respect for our elders. And then, how we carry ourselves. Today, we got a special guest. But thanks for tuning in. We're chilling on the front porch with Rod. Here we go, folks.
You ready?
Hey, welcome back, Porch family. This episode right here is going to examine our respect across generations, including greetings, honoring elders, and valuing self. Rooted in community conversation, we explore how respect has shifted and how it can be rebuilt through understanding. And today I got a special guest from back at the crib, man. Big bro, man, Virgil House, man. Go ahead and let the people know you are, bro.
What's good? What's good? My name's Virgil House from North Charleston, South Carolina.
Indeed, man. We're going to jump right into it. This topic what we're talking about is whatever happened to respect. You got greetings, elders, and self-respect across generations. Like I said earlier, we're going to tap into a lot of dimensions in this conversation we're about to have on sports. So first thing, man, when you hear the word respect, Virgil, what does it mean to you and personally, on a personal level and a cultural level?
Well, personally, it was instilled in you when you were coming up and when you were brought into existence, rather, from your family, man, your father, your mother, instilled that in you from day one. Culturally, it ventured out when we started getting into technology with the TV, television. I mean, once it started broadening out, it became a whole different element of looking at respect from the family perspective.
Absolutely, and I feel like it kind of like established the social media aspect. It established the definitions of respect without any judgment being put into it. Because we had to get filtered, when we was growing up. There wasn't no there wasn't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Like there were like non-negotiables. What were some non-negotiables you remember with the elders?
You didn't talk back. You didn't question what they were saying to you. I mean, you couldn't. You couldn't talk back, or you got your head peeled to the white meat, but you couldn't talk back. You had to respect where they were coming from. I mean, you didn't second guess their opinion. You didn't cut your eyes. You just had to obey what they were saying, and you had to, do what they said. What's different nowadays, it's different these days because, the generation that came behind us is more of a younger kids raising younger kids. So, their influences of what's being brought onto YouTube or television or radio or music incorporated into how they was raising their kids.
Exactly. It was like a community thing. We always talk about it takes a community to raise a child, but I don't think people really understand the deeper meaning of that because it's different. It's a vetting process.
Right. It's different now. The community has changed so much because you have younger generations in there. But when we was coming up, you could almost remember everybody on the block. On each block, you could remember everybody because I just take newspapers. I knew the majority of the whole neighborhood, but at the same time, once it got to be a younger generation coming in, and then they took the male out of the, there was no structure there to really enforce respect or understanding on how to treat others as you encounter them.
Exactly that, man. It was a very very different time, and I wish we would get back to some of it because it did put us in position. I think better than a lot of people expected it to do.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have a problem with a neighbor, talking to your child, trying to discipline your child. If they would get out of line, they would be able to say something to that child without having the parent of the child come to them and have an argument about talking to their child. Back then everybody was respected, so you didn't have to worry about somebody really getting on your child saying the wrong thing.
Yeah.
By the time you got when they talk to you,
by the time you get back to the crib,
home, you get to the crib, it's a double sword now. Now you got to deal with two things coming at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now it's like if you talk to somebody's child now, they're gonna go to the parent and why you don't talk to my child and you don't say nothing.
Gonna get a whole fight.
Come on, man. It's gotten out of hand. It's not the same anymore. It's everybody's individual these days.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, and it's like it's crazy because it ain't. You gotta, at the end of the day, as parents, you know, we're trying to get our kids equipped and ready for the real
Right.
world. Well,
Right.
that's the real world. The only difference is
Right.
you got somebody that caring about your misbehavior or misconduct,
Right.
and they're gonna let
why a
your
lot of
parent know,
kids.
like, hey, you know, Peanut over there acting crazy, man. And then by you get back
Right.
home, you know, you're gonna get a stern talking to, or you know, you might have to go
Right.
get the switch.
Right.
It just
Either or,
depends.
but you're gonna get dealt with.
Yeah, you'll get dealt with.
You're gonna get dealt with. Either way, you're gonna get dealt with because they know they can trust the neighborhood people. They're not gonna fabricate something about your child.
Yep. And you knew how to govern, and then it make you like, okay, I know I'm around here next to Sister Mary house. I can't act a fool over here because she gonna
Right.
that it kind of made you felt respect, you know, and showed at the same time because you could feel it.
Right. You're right. You had to, when you walk out your door, you had to show respect to everybody in the neighborhood. Elders, people older than you. When you walk up and down the street, you had to say good evening, good morning, good afternoon. You had to speak to these people because I was always taught that respect carries you farther than money. And
Yes,
so
sir.
you would always respect somebody. I mean, elders, I don't care who they are. I mean, in the neighborhood was a neighborhood. Now the neighborhood is like a part of a neighborhood here, and then it skips over, and there's another neighborhood there, and there's not a whole complete village like how they wanted to be.
And it's funny you say that, man. Man, you read my mind, man. It's like because one of the things I want to talk to you about that was why do greetings matter so much, especially in the Black culture? 2-part question, and then what does it say when someone enters a room and doesn't speak?
Greeting was always taught you. That's part of your respect. You know what I'm saying? To I don't know how you can say. Okay, it was part of when you walk out your door and you walking up the street. Most time back then, most people were sitting on their porch, you know, talking to another neighbor or being on their porches enjoying the weather. You would walk by, you would say good evening, good morning, good afternoon. You would speak, and then 9 times out of 10, they know who you are. They know where your family is. They know who your family are. And they would speak to you. You know what I'm saying? They would speak to you, you know, yeah, how you doing? How you doing? I don't care. You see them 4 times that day, you're going to speak to them. Now, if you walk into a room and you don't speak to somebody, that means you're being standoffish. That means you don't want to be dealt with. That means you're not really a person because you're trying to be like to yourself. And then there's a problem. There's a problem with that. It's a big problem with that. I have that problem sometimes on the job. When you go to the job and you're at the job. Now, if you're at the job and somebody comes up to the job in your section and they don't speak, you kind of hesitant about saying anything to that person because that person might be going through something.
That's a true story.
That person might be have something on their mind. So you be like, okay, give them a minute, let them get this stuff together. Maybe they'll speak later on, but then they don't speak the whole time they come in. But then later on, they want to ask you to do something or ask you to help them, and you be like, "Well, you walked by me, didn't speak to me." Now it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem now because it's like it's hard for me. It's hard for me for you to walk past me and don't say good morning or what's up or throw your head up or finger or point at me. If you don't acknowledge me being in a room, that means I'm not a human. I'm just like a piece of trash on the floor.
Man, I experienced that at work myself. Wow.
Yeah, and I'm saying, and then you turn around 30 minutes later. Now hey, could you help me? And you're looking at the person like you just walked by me 30 minutes ago. Now you want me to help you? Right? But now you need my help. Now you know I'm in the building. Now you need something from me. When all you can just simply do, how you doing, man? Good morning. What's going on with you? Hey, what's up? You know, you don't have to talk about, you watched the game last night? Don't have to be all of that. It's simply, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Good morning. You know, and then carry on. And I feel like, you know, you acknowledge me, I acknowledge you. But even when you go to a job and you are new and they forget about, when you talk about respect and manners, when you get to the job, you don't have people introduce themselves no more to you. You know, and
you surely don't.
You feel reluctant to go over there to be like, okay, my name is, you know, because you be like, okay, if this person doesn't introduce themselves to me, that means I need to stay in my lane until they come. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to step on nobody's toes. You don't want to go too far out. So you stay to yourself. Then when you stay to yourself, Well, he's antisocial. I mean,
And I was just about to get labeled. You get labeled. Oh, he's the angry black guy. Why? Because I ain't chopping it up with you. You ain't chopping it up with me. What I got to talk to you about?
That's what I'm saying. You know, we was taught, you know, from being in the streets and being in the neighborhood, you just don't go jump in anybody's conversation or jump in anybody's group. You know, you know what I'm saying? You have to be welcome there. You have to
have somebody introduce you and be a liaison kind of.
Right. You just can't go over there. Hey, what's going on with y'all guys? What you doing? And everybody look at you funny now, like, you know.
Yeah, and I'm going to joke, you know, it's so wrong, right, guys?
That's it.
I know he's skeptical about that much.
Right. You know, so you have to be mindful how you do things. So it's like
it was natural too. You know what I'm saying? It was very natural.
I mean, things have changed so much now with the influence of music and the influence of TV. It's gotten out of hand to the point of, like I said, New York, when it started out with the hip hop. If you look back in the 80s, all of the songs that came out had 0 curse words in it. They had conscious rap, you had religious rap, you had party rap. Everything was just basically family rap, family oriented to get played on the radio. And then all of a sudden,
2 Live Crew was the one that made it have explicit content on the front of the album.
I mean, it got to the point. Okay, right, but you had the freedom of speech, but at the same time, you were respectful of what you were speaking about because it was it was thrown out there to the community, and you didn't want to have a bad image about you being this or that. But then once the big corporate started seeing how much people were paying attention to the negative side of rap, that's when it just went to the point of, I don't care what you say, as long as they're paying for the money. You know, if they're paying for it, you can say whatever you want to say, how you want to say it, and it's accepted.
That is true. That is true. Because I mean, think like when people really look at it, like when you have that simple communication between two people, especially in our community, it just does something to you. Because like you said earlier, you never know somebody going through, and if you don't say nothing to them, you know, it might make them even feel even more closed in or even boxed in.
Right, because you know, or now you don't have a conversation. You don't have
a conversation and like, well, damn, you know, we really, you know, dog, we didn't even know dog was going through that, or it could have been, you know, it's small things and they add up. Or on the other side of it is when you're dealing with an opposite race, and typically the ones the colonizers that we know we have to deal with in some of these work environments, they do the same crap, and they'll walk past you and don't say nothing. But then you look at them speak amongst their own people. Like they'll walk past you, and then as soon as there's Becky over here, hey, good morning. I'm like, damn, dog, I just seen you at the coffee machine. You ain't say nothing. Yes. Then after lunch, you're like, oh, hey, Rod, I need you to do this. Nah, motherfucker, I ain't doing shit because it's on my time now because you blatantly disrespecting me coming across, and then you get mad at me when me and my people having a good time. Oh, they loud. Well, we're getting stuff done though, and now you come in the room and you want to be acknowledged. It's a big thing about acknowledgement. You know, if you're not acknowledged properly from the beginning, I'm going fast. No, we're done with for the rest of the day. We might start this over again tomorrow. I'm
done with you until you can come back and we can make amends about what's going on. But until then, I know I'm going to respect you, you know, to the point of I'm not going to try to doggone harm you or be like, you know, have like,
okay, I'm going to get him later black on. Dude or black, you know, it ain't that.
I'm just like, okay, you kind of acknowledge me as being a human.
That exactly. It was like it took me back to the day with the old Jim Crow. Like I was like, this is a prime example of the new Jim Crow, right here.
Right.
They, I mean, they're doing it in certain ways now, and it's like advanced.
Right. It's like I said. It's just they try to cover it up, but then now with the president we have, it's like they got a big. Oh, we can do whatever the fuck we want to do right now because he said what he wants to say. We can say what we want to say, you know, and we shouldn't have no repercussions about it. And he's the first president. What's made him a president? Because he has the attitude of most Americans that we are just greater than anybody else out there in the world. Yeah. And he talks that way. Even though he does reckless things, he gets the majority of us to doggone back him because of his actions and how he acts towards everybody else. Like, you know, like everybody else is beneath us. And but we really are we're in bad shape, man. It's
man, that John here is astronomical, man. The stuff that how far he has taken the disrespect, man. Because you know we used to say actions speak louder than words, but it kind of like both doing the same thing with this cat. It's like his actions and his words are speaking loudly at the same time, because if he says something, he got enough people in place to execute.
Right, because he's using the same tactics he used when he used to have his reality show. I forgot the name of the show he used to have back in the days, but he's using those same tactics to know that when you start to do, like, say and do evil things, that brings a more mass audience, which gives you more money in your pocket. When you got negative things going on, more people are tune in to that, and then it's just a somber story or somebody got cancer or something sad. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good at the same time. But when you got a fight, an argument, a disagreement, everybody want to chime in and see how it pans out, and you get more viewers. You get more viewers than you do. Then you get to try to be nice. So you got to create a gimmick. And he didn't win the popular vote, but he won the electoral vote. But now the funny thing about the electoral vote, 95% of the people I know are not in the electoral vote. In that state, I can push that. So if it was an overall vote, of popularity, he wouldn't be in there. But when you got certain states, dealing with that, that's why I try to when I talk to people, I'm like, man, look, deal with your local government. Don't worry about the presidency, because you don't have a shot, with the presidency, because we're not in the electoral vote states. All we can do is deal with our congressman, the mayor, chief of police, local government, to help us deal with our local economy and our local state.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue, man, into what I was going to ask you next, about how do you think the younger generation define respect today? Because with the politics and the what you call it, the rhetoric that's being used in social media of the make America great again, the black culture, the Hispanic culture, all this ICE stuff, how do you think the younger generation define respect today?
The younger generation define respect with money. And you have to put that also on the drug trade. When the drug trade came into the communities, right now you had a young boy, say 15, 16 years old, making more money than his father. Now his father is doing the best he can at that time to provide for the household. Yeah. Once his son starts making more money in 2 days than he makes in a week, now the son, his respect for the father is not the same anymore, because he has more money in his pocket. He thinks he's more mature now because he's making more money, and it knocked the livelihood of the actual father kind of down, because now one time you look at your father, hey man, he's taking care of the family, taking care of the bills, everything is good. Then all of a sudden, when you got that fast money coming in, and that old young guy buying shoes and help pay the bills and giving mama money and giving sister money, and the father can't do all of that because he getting paid by the hour, not getting paid by the doggone clock. So it's a difference. So once the younger generation started picking up on how to hustle and make money before they got locked up, they thought, okay, I got this money, I should be respected because I'm making this kind of money. Even though it was illegal money, even though you tearing up the community, they don't care about that. All they care about was how much money they can make within a matter of time and what they can do with it. And you even had some of the older folks turn on the father in the house because the younger guy was making so much money, he can give to here, give to there, give to this, and that, he can contribute. And the father was like, look, I'm making $12 an hour. And I'm trying to, after tax, I'm trying to bring this home every week, take care of these bills, put food on the table for my kids, get them to school, put clothes on their back. It's not that easy for me. But that drug trade, it just threw everything way off.
And that's kind of that was a big shift, and it's kind of like, I think the lack of yes sir and no sir, the disrespect with some people like, oh, you don't say no yes sir and no sir no more. I think that was a cultural shift as well.
That was a culture shift right there. It was that was it. It was a culture shift in yes sir and no sir, because now you feeling like your father was supposed to tell you yes sir, no sir, because of the amount of money you making and bringing into the house. If they let you stay in the house, then all of a sudden you would get your own spot or find you somebody to stay with, and then you would, as long as you flourish over there, not doing the hourly wages thing. As long as you flourish over there, and the neighborhood people, hey, he got money. Look, he got the shoes on. He wearing the Nikes. He wearing the Jordans. He got the
Yep.
chain and everything.
Like all the hustling started dissipating.
All the hustlers, that just took you to another level of saying, I want to be like him. I don't want to be like my daddy. My daddy working, he can barely doggone, you be like, you forget about how things was put together. You have, that's why I'm saying you have to always respect your elders, because they laid the path for you to be what you trying to be now.
Yeah, because some young people say I respect myself first. How do you feel about that?
Well, it all depends on how they was raised, man. I mean, like I said, it's the morals that they were put into them. They're not really centered on like respect of others, because they feel that they're taking care of themselves now. They feel that they can hustle and do this, or they can come out with a scam and get some money with some scam or something like that real quick, a fast dollar. You get more respect. Like I said, people will respect. A broke man can't tell a person with money nothing. A broke man can tell a doggone drug dealer. A broke man can tell a drug dealer, hey man, you need to slow down, and you shouldn't be doing that. At the same time, that drug dealer, that drug person looking at him like, look, man, you can't tell me shit. Look at you. You can't buy clothes. Hey, look at you. How can you tell me what he's telling you is the moral of it is, hey, bro, you're not going on the right path. Now,
look at me. Look what happened to me.
Well, yeah, that's right. But you try to reverse that and say, okay, stop selling drugs and go get a job. And then you start getting that hourly wage. And you're like, man, when I was out there in the streets, I was making doggone $500 every 2 hours. I can barely make $500 every 2 weeks. Until your mind goes back, until you get caught up. You don't really feel the impact of how wrong you're doing it until you get caught up. Once you get caught up, that's when you be like, man, I should have doggone, I should have did this, I should have did that. Yep. But it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, it's a lesson that's learned late, and then the OGs that used to try to guide the cats, they're on the last of a dying breed.
The OGs, the OGs aren't the same anymore, because back in my day, OGs used to be around the back.
The OGs don't kind of like that shit. They the ones we know died out. Then the OGs are the OGs or the young Gs. So it's supposed to be the OGs.
Right, I know. They did the new YNs now, because back in my day,
exactly. You're right. The YN.
If I was out there, and I say, for instance, I'm walking down the street and there's a barrel with some fire in it, and the older guy standing around talking, and they'll look over and see, hey, what you doing out here? You're not supposed to be here. And they know who my father is, they know who my mother is. You need to get your behind back on down the street. You're not supposed to be around here. Now it's like, if you can come around some YNs, you got some weed and you got a cigar, or you invited in, don't care damn what's going on.
You BFF for life.
You in.
Dude, and it's weird. Yeah, the true OG wouldn't even let you enter the game. You wouldn't even enter the game,
Right. You couldn't do that.
You couldn't do it. And it's funny because I think one of the things I often come to mind when I talk to people about this is like, did older generations confuse obedience with respect? And I'm like, okay, I can kind of see why like generations past us or younger than us kind of see like, okay, I'm not going to speak good morning every time. I'm not going to always open the door for a lady or older woman or whatever, or even say yes or no, sir, because they feel like they're being, you trying to tell me what to do, you trying to, they may feel like you trying to whip them into shape, like you trying to make a dog obedient or an animal obedient,
right?
But it's not that. It's not in the sense of that.
Right, but obedience was part of respect. If you obeyed and you listened to your older people, you was considered as a good child. If you were doing what you're supposed to do, you do your chores. You see, kids don't have chores no more. All they have to do now is go to the room, play on their phone. They don't have to worry about washing no dishes. They don't have to worry about doing no floors. They don't have to wash no
you tell them to go cut some grass. It's too hot out there.
I remember when we used to wash clothes. You wash them in the house. You had to hang them out on the line. You don't hang no clothes out on the line. Everything is washed. Washing machine, dryer, microwave, everything. All the technology have taken all of the doggone, like the small things that you were supposed to learn. From when I was, say for instance, when I was born, from age 1 to 12, I was taught how to do everything in the house. Everything. I mean, cook, clean, everything. Now, when I turned 13, 12 to 13, I was outside. Now I'm being taught how to deal with the yard, how to deal with the car, how to you know what I'm saying, deal with the dog, cut wood for the fireplace. Different things you have to learn how to do at different ages. Now that's non-existent because you got central heat, central air. You ain't worrying about no. Some people have fireplace. Some people have a fireplace, so you go fire a little wood or whatever.
Don't know about no kerosene heater either.
No, I don't know no kerosene heater.
That thing had no auto shut off.
No.
You run into it, boy, you kick that jump while you smell like kerosene the whole day, boy.
Man, look,
or even just being near it, your clothes smell like gas. Like, damn.
Right. You would smell it, you would have it in your clothes, but you was warm.
Well, you warm now.
As things progressed and technology got kicked in, there's lesser things that kids can do now besides all they want to do now is be on the phone. Yeah. What funny story is, I have a 4-year-old granddaughter who had a birthday last month, and she got a phone. And I started laughing. I was like, man, you got a phone? And she called me, Papa, I give you my number. You give me your number. I'm like,
right.
You're 4 years old, man.
You didn't hear that till you was like they're in high school. Give me a number.
But I didn't have a phone when I was in high school. I barely
had a beeper. See what they call it?
Beeper. I was out of school.
You were a payphone. Yeah. You was a working man. You had, even though the fellas on the street that also had one, but you work at Burger King. It pays me.
Right.
You hit me on the hip.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you go to the payphone.
You had to go payphone. You had to make sure you had quarters on you. And those times, those things are different.
Learn, man.
Everything is in the power of your hand. Everything in the power of your hand.
But you know the funny part about that though? Even though it's so convenient though to them, bro, it's like Lupe Fiasco in them. It's like dumbing them down.
Right.
Because it's limited researchability. I'm like, it's right in the encyclopedia. What's that?
It's not the same.
We had an encyclopedia in the house. You had A through Z. You won it.
When you had to do an essay, in school, you had to go to the library.
Yes,
you had to get your books, research. You understand what I'm saying? But now everything's on the phone. Hey Siri, and Siri will pop up. Yes, and you ask them a question, and Siri will give you the answer. And okay, that's the answer. So everything is given to them now. We had to go out there and make it happen.
Yeah, everything you have to make it. You have to research. Yeah, I mean, you have to know. You go in there and get the index card out of the library. You know what I'm saying? You go to the microfiche.
We had late fees and books being returned because you didn't return the books
they're gonna tag
on
you.
Time.
They're gonna tag you.
Those days are over with now, man. I'm surprised. Like newspapers and libraries, I'm surprised you're still holding on because of this phone in our hand right now. Me being able to talk to you via Zoom is totally different. Back in the days, I had to doggone either find you or be beside you to be able to talk to you.
Yep.
So things change. So you can blame respect on how the kids do things on a lot of things. It's just not.
You can.
It's just not cut and dry on this. How the family is, and been raised by a single parent like a mother.
Yep.
Because we had some strong parents, mothers, in our days growing up. They didn't. I don't care. They didn't need a man around them. They were going to take care of the family, and you were going to respect, and or you're going to get yourself in trouble, or you're going to find you someplace to stay. But
that's
days,
a true story.
Everybody's their baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. Now everybody's their baby. So they're not.
Man, we're gonna definitely come back to that in another episode. Of man, is how young men are being, and I'm talking just out the black culture, folks. I'm not, I saying it, just like I saying it now. Hey, Porch fam, I'm keeping it real. We're talking about the black culture. I'm not talking about anybody else race.
No,
our black men and get the dang mama titty out of their mouth. But we're gonna have that conversation another time. But we're talking about the respect here, folks, and sometimes with the balance of, it's because sometimes what looks like disrespect is really a different language. And we understand that things have changed and evolved over the years, but the basis of it is, the small things count when you're talking about respect. And then if your respect is different than my respect, then how hard is it to have a easy conversation, or don't fly off of me making it disrespectful people?
Right.
We're gonna do a little rapid fire right quick before we come to a close, man. These questions are quite unique. They're designed to be first thought. Don't overthink them, and then you just really say what comes to mind.
Okay.
Is yes sir or no sir? Is it respect or outdated?
It's the respect, but it's outdated with the younger generation. But it's the respect that I grew up with. That you have to say, regardless of who you're talking to. If they were elder, you would speak to them as such because that's part of your upbringing. You would
True story.
it would just come right out your mouth automatically. Yes, sir. No, sir. And when my kids that I had, my 5 girls, they were taught yes, sir, no, sir. But then as time goes on, different things happen.
Greeting people when you walk in, mandatory or optional?
Mandatory. Yeah, you have to let people know that you have an upbringing about yourself. Like you have, you're saying you're about something. You come in the room, you show respect, you're gonna get respect.
For sure. Elders should always be respected. Agree or disagree?
I agree wholeheartedly, 100%, because they're the reason why we're here.
They paved the way. Respect today is more about tone or behavior.
It's about behavior. If you know how to act and you know how to act accordingly, you will be respected, always. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the younger crew got a different perspective.
What's about to ask you now? One thing younger folks get right about respect.
My thing is they haven't gotten anything right about respect. They can hardly, really, the only they can barely spell respect. The only reason they can spell respect if they let Aretha Franklin, a record on, a song on. But so far as they don't have a clue about respect, man. That's over their head. Yeah, way over.
One thing older folks need to unlearn about respect.
They don't need to unlearn anything. They deserve the right to accept, to be always respected and always. Like I said, without them, there will be no us. So never forget where you come from. And you came from their lineage. So there's no way in the world that you can say that they're supposed to misunderstand respect. They're supposed to always be given respect.
I agree. And folks on the porch, man, right before we close, man, last question for Mr. House. What's one thing each generation can do better to meet in the middle on respect?
Getting an understanding about where it came from and where it's supposed to be. Try to go back to the old values of respect. Like I said, respect started with a family foundation. And sometimes it wasn't about a family foundation. It was a strong person who had good morals and would teach their kids that, hey, respect carries you farther than money. And if you keep that in mind, you will always, you try to uphold that. That's like a law.
Respect, it is a law. Still live by it to this day. Manners will take you further than money ever will.
Ever will. And so once they get that in their head, everything else is easy. But right now, it just, like I said, it's up in the air, man. It's up in the air.
Fall into place. Hey, well, folks, respect isn't dead, but it is evolving. The question is whether we're willing to listen across generations instead of talking past each other. Folks, this is Chillin' on the Front Porch with Rod, where we talked it out and we did not tear it down. I want to say thank you to Virgil for coming out, man, having this time. And there's more to follow, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Chillin' on the Front Porch with Rod.